Plaintiff Rosalind Vela says she's embarrassed to be in court today because she had an affair with the defendant despite the fact that he's married. Rosalind claims the defendant even told her to become friends with his wife because she was getting suspicious of their relationship, and she's suing her former lover today for a credit card bill and a loan. Defendant Jose Carranza says he's here today to take responsibility for his actions because he admits to having an affair with Rosalind. Jose also admits that Rosalind gave him a credit card, but insists it was only to finance their affair, and he's countersuing for harassment and attorney fees.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
First of all, let me let you know that I am not proud of the reason that has brought me into your court office. I'm here because I had an affair with a married man. It all started when my marriage of 10 years ended, and I needed somebody to be a friend, to be there. I was feeling worthless. I felt like I wasn't loved anymore. And Mr. Carranza was a friend to me. We had a platonic relationship at the beginning. He brought me flowers on Valentine's Day as a friendship gift.
That's what you thought?
He said that's what.
You know, I've never gotten you flowers on Valentine's Day.
It wasn't like a lot of. It was 2 roses. You know, I took it as a friendship gift. And
roses on Valentine's Day. Gotcha. Where all were you going as friends? What places were you all frequenting as friends?
We would have lunch, or he would ask me to go to the park, or we'd go to dinner platonically at first.
Okay. And you never had any idea that he might want more than a platonic relationship?
At first, like I said, I didn't.
I know, but after the roses,
yes. Well,
after the walks through the park, after the dinners, that wasn't a hint to you?
Then later on, yes.
Sorry, let me hear from you regarding this love affair that you twisted her arm to go into.
Good morning, Your Honor. Let me start off by saying what I did was wrong, and I admit it. I'm a man. I'm here to take responsibility for my actions. I was a married man, and I did pursue a relationship with Ms. Rosalind.
Well, why aren't you breaking down crying then?
Oh, well, because it's not as innocent as it sounds. It was all mutual. There was no tricks, or I was not bending her arm like you said. Okay. None of that happened. It was all mutual. In reference to the flowers that she commented on, the reason she got those 2 flowers was because my son was born a day before Valentine's, and I bought my wife some roses. And when I was buying them,
2 left. You shouldn't do that to this woman.
No, sir.
You're saying that you brought your wife some roses, and the ones that were left over, you gave to her.
No, sir. That is not what I said.
What are you saying?
I said I bought my wife some roses, and while I was purchasing them, Rosalind was on the phone with me at the time.
Because he was talking to me. He was texting me.
I'm not telling you. I'm not denying that one bit. I was on the phone with her, and I told her I was buying roses for my wife, and she mentioned that she didn't have any roses, nobody loved her, so I felt bad, and I went and I picked her up too, and I took them to her the next day.
Go ahead, giving her 2 roses. Go ahead. So she said, "Get me some roses too."
No, I surprised her the following day when she did not know I had them, and I didn't know I had them.
I'm trying to understand how you got to 2.
Because it was
How did you pick that number?
I'm gonna tell you, I was on a stoplight and they approached me. You know, Valentine's, everybody at the and they approached me and I thought, okay, well, hey, she said this yesterday, maybe this will make her day. You know, today is Valentine's and
so you bought
nobody's hanging out with.
But you just said that you bought them when you were buying your wife's flowers.
No, I said I was buying my wife's flowers when I was on the phone with you.
Brought yours off the street. You're trying to wife her when you come with all this. Yes, you were. That's wifing her. That's what the rappers call it. You treat them like a wife, or they treat you like they're your wife. Well, you have to be able to afford all that.
Yes, sir.
So could you afford it?
No, I could not.
Well, you should have stuck with that one wife you had. All right, ma'am. These are dog. That was pretty low.
Like I said, I mean, I didn't take it as much more than just a friendship gift, so it didn't matter to me where, you know, because at that point, I didn't want anything with him at that point. And like I said, we continued. He started texting me, emailing me, calling me on his way to work, on his way home from work, all day long, every day. We started a intimate relationship. We had been friends. I lent him a credit card to stop because he had no credit and his wife had no credit. So I lent them a credit card to help them because I had good credit.
To help them?
To help them.
Not just him?
Yes, because I knew his wife and we started becoming friends. And that's why I do
that is
feel
incorrect,
bad.
Your Honor.
You and his wife became friends?
Yes, they
Well,
did.
at that time, and the way that we became friends was because
You become wife-in-laws. It's a wife-in-law. No, seriously,
I mean,
that's what they call it. When they get to know each other, both parties are all right with it, and they're friends, and yeah.
And at first we were not friends, but he was like, hey, you know, my wife is getting a little jealous that I talked to you because she knew that he would talk to me.
That she would make
And
constant
so he-
trips down to my job to have lunch with me.
Go ahead,
Because
ma'am.
you were inviting
Come on,
me.
ma'am,
And
so
then
we
he
can get
was-
to the credit card
And then
bill.
he was like, you need to be friends with my wife. So I befriended his wife. And
You're a stone dog.
I lent
sir.
Go ahead.
I lent that credit card to them so they could establish it. It was supposed to be
She
for
lent it to
necessities,
me?
gas, lights, you know,
No, sir.
necessities, and he was supposed to pay it off every month because that's how I established my credit. I would use my credit
Has
card
he
to pay it
paid
off.
it? That's why you're suing
No, Your
him?
Honor. I have a current.
Did
Thanks.
you ever use the card?
No, I used it one time.
I'm
The
sorry,
day
Your
that I
Honor.
told him that I received the credit card, he told me and his wife to go to get our nails done and go to lunch.
That's not. That is
That
not
was
practice.
the only
that we
day
do at
that
my
I
household.
used that card.
The credit card was given to me because I was trying to end our relationship, and I couldn't afford it. It was just getting too much. I mean, lunch 3 times a week. She didn't want no fast food. She wanted a sit-down place and where we got a tip. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
That's
let me
a
show
lot
you
of
these
my
fast
money.
food places.
He took you to fast food.
Because
No, I had to settle down in the fast food, but I mean, we used to eat at Good Eats.
Why
I
don't you
never
owe
ate at
for the
Good Eats
Why
with
don't
him.
you owe for the credit card charges that you and your wife made on the card that she obtained for your use?
Okay, the credit card was for me and her use. My wife did not use that card. The card that we have is a matching card, so there are some charges on that card that are on her. They are identical numbers. The only difference is my name's on mine, her name's on hers.
Who has the charges, ma'am, that show whose names are on which?
Nothing shows
Nothing
whose
shows
name
names
up.
because you cannot split it up like that.
But-
How do I know you did not use the card, as he says?
Well, I have my own personal Bank of America credit
No,
card
ma'am,
that I
but there's
use,
a presumption that if you have a card in your name, there's a presumption that you use it.
Yes.
So, do you have any of the other bills that show the items that were purchased?
I have here where he
And you say she did, what other type of purchases did she make?
She would actually use the card to get gas to go see me at work because I work pretty far from home. She would also use the card to pay for our purchases when we were eating. Sometimes it was my card, sometimes it was her card. It was still under the same account. She would pay, I would pay. I still was stuck with the bill at the end. So
Ma'am, you never
every
used
statement,
the
every
card for
payment.
gas even?
She drives.
if I used it, it was because he said go ahead and put it. But I maybe once or twice, but I did not use that credit
So
card.
far, we're up to 3, ma'am.
It'll keep
We
growing.
went from 0 to 3 times you used it.
Okay. Well, I know that I didn't buy myself a ring, and that this was
I
supposed to be
purchased a
for
ring.
necessities.
How much was that?
That was $480. I do not know what Greenhouse, Texas, something other. I'm sure it was a cash advance because there was a cash advance.
How much?
There's $202, $201, $201.
Can you prove to me over 2,500?
He says that we did not.
Half of 5,000
Yes,
is
sir.
2,500.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm asking
He
you,
says that we went to
ma'am,
restaurants-
please let
I'm
me
sorry.
finish because you are not proving your case. Show me where he purchased the majority of the items.
Yes, Your Honor, because this one has a $4,800 balance
Let's
on
see
it.
it.
It shows a lot of fast food restaurants that I didn't want.
Your unpaid loan for what, ma'am?
Unpaid loan for $2,160.
Okay, tell me how he owes you.
In October of 2009, I gave him a loan of $2,500 with a one-time 15% interest fee, which it came out to right at $2,880.
When was he to repay it?
He was supposed to repay it over an 8-period month.
How much has he paid on it?
He paid me $720.
Leaving a balance of what?
the $2160.
Did you agree to that?
I actually asked for a loan of $2,500. She approved me for a loan of $2,000 that was repaid in cash. Every month I would give her $500.
What was the
and that was
interest
repaid.
agreement?
I don't know the percentage. It was $375.
When did you repay it?
I finished repaying that within a 4-month period. So if I got
When? Tell me when. Describe it.
Right at the end of December is when our relationship started ending, and
So you don't owe a
repaid her.
thing.
I don't owe her for the cash loan.
Anything.
The credit card I do not feel I own for.
That means no. That means you owe her for nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
For the cash loan, here are some emails or text messages where we're texting about this.
When did you pay it off, you say?
In December. She provided me with an email at my
December
job.
of 09, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. January of 10, you're talking about paying.
That's because she's asking me about the 375.
You said you didn't owe her anything. Remember?
Well, the 375, I don't feel like I owe
You
her
said you
for
didn't
it.
owe her a dime.
I
Do you
do not.
remember? I was very clear.
Oh, yeah, you
And
did
on
ask me that.
January 10th, you're admitting that you do owe her. Your counterclaim for harassment and attorney fees are for what?
Well, I hired an attorney to handle this case.
And you should have.
And
You needed one.
yes. And then with the credit card.
What else?
The credit card, she is the primary user. I am just an authorized user, so I am not able to make a decision
What is
without
your
her
harassment
approval.
for?
She actually gave the credit card company my phone number, and they have been calling me every day. They
Good.
wake me up at 7
As she
o'clock in the morning.
should. Good. Your name is on it, and you made charges, so they
Yes,
have
and
every
I've
right
also
to
been
seek,
making payments.
They have every right to seek payment from a person whose name is jointly on an account and who has made purchases.
Yeah, but when they talk to me, I'm not able
Sue
to
them
make a
then.
decision.
Sue them for calling you too much. All right.
Yes, sir.
She doesn't wake you up in the morning with it.
Not anymore.
Now your attorney fees. Attorney fees I only grant when the case has no merit, when it's a frivolous claim, or if it's a malicious claim. This claim does have merit, and you should have gotten an attorney or handled it yourself. And so I'm dismissing your claim entirely. And with regard to her claim, $5,000 is your judgment. He
Thank you, Your
claims he
Honor.
didn't owe you anything, and he admits here that he does. He has perjured himself. Therefore, I'll grant your judgment. I don't believe a thing that he says.
Thank you, Your
Have
Honor.
a good day.
I'd like to apologize to her because she was a friend to me, so I do feel bad for doing this to her, so I am truly sorry for doing this to you. We stopped talking completely, but apparently she doesn't know still. So, like I
She
said.
stopped talking to my wife because she went and told my wife's cousin. She started going to parties where she had no business being there.
'Cause I was
my
invited?
side of the family, and started talking about the credit card and about our relationship to her family members. So my wife doesn't want anything to do with her.